Hi, this is Eric, and today's trip is going to take us from Allegiant Stadium at the southern end of the Las Vegas Strip to our hotel in downtown Las Vegas. This ride ended up being just over 14 miles and takes us predominantly through the back streets of Las Vegas behind the casinos. In this video, we're also going to travel through the sketchy and gentrifying neighborhoods surrounding the Stratosphere Casino and the Arts District. We're heading east over Hacienda Avenue. Hacienda Avenue is named after the Hacienda Casino, which was built a decade before the interstate in 1956. The Hacienda was the first resort as you entered Las Vegas on the old highway from Los Angeles. The Hacienda was built 3 years before the famous Welcome to Las Vegas sign was placed just south of the hotel, which was imploded in 1996 to make way for the Mandalay Bay. Mandalay Bay was the last resort to be built under the banner of Circus Enterprises, which built the nearby Excalibur in 1990 and Luxor in 1993. We're heading north on Frank Sinatra Drive, which wasn't built until the 1990s and was sort of sandwiched between the interstate and the casino properties. Frank Sinatra Drive was put in to alleviate some of the Las Vegas Strip traffic. This is the new T-Mobile Arena, which was recently built and now holds the Las Vegas Golden Knights NHL team. Much of this land was once the Dunes Golf Course. The Dunes Golf Course was removed in the 1990s to make way for the Bellagio. Much later, the enormous city center complex occupied the rest of the golf course. The Bellagio now sits at the site of the old Dunes Casino, which operated between 1955 until its closure in 1993 when it was purchased by Steve Wynn and imploded to make way for his next mega project after the success of the Mirage. "1966 was an exciting year for Las Vegas. This was the year that the interstate to Los Angeles was finally completed, and the arrival of Jay Sarno's Caesar's Palace changed the Strip forever. Next, we're going to head through Caesar's Palace property and go back towards the Strip. Caesar's Palace was built on an old creek bed that sometimes had some pretty epic flash floods. We're going to go check out some remnants of the old Flamingo Wash a little bit later in the video. Right about here is where the Caesar's Palace parking lot used to meet the Flamingo Wash. The Cosmopolitan Hotel and Casino opened in 2010 after some serious financial issues caused by the global financial crisis. The Cosmopolitan is just one of several properties that make up the sprawling city center complex. We're going to cruise around a couple of the properties right now. The Aria Hotel and Casino finished about a year before the Cosmopolitan and is the largest hotel casino in the city center complex. The main entrance for the Aria resembles an airport more than it does a hotel casino. This is the first time I've explored this area outside of my car, so this was pretty neat. The Vidara resembles the Aria, but is a non-gaming hotel directly across the street. Now we're headed on to Harmon Avenue, which was built to thread through the city center complex when the freeway overpass over Interstate 15 was built. The Harmon was the name of a high-rise that was supposed to exist just to the right of this. It was dismantled after it was discovered that there was a construction defect. After years of litigation, the building was dismantled. I guess this is the main entrance to the Aria. This place is so big and so sprawling that it's hard to get a scale for the size of it. This part of the property once contained the Boardwalk Casino, which opened as a Holiday Inn in the 1960s and later transformed into a Coney Island-themed hotel and casino. If you look closely, you can see remnants of the old Las Vegas Strip right here. There used to be motels and strip malls on this stretch, and some of them still remain, albeit tucked behind recent developments. Heading east on Harmon Avenue, eventually we would end up at the Virgin Hotel, which used to be the Hard Rock Hotel and Casino. Today we're going to head north on the eastern side of the Las Vegas Strip behind the casinos. This is our first glimpse of the Las Vegas Monorail. This stretch of the monorail was built in the 1990s as a joint venture between MGM and Ballys. Later, the monorail was expanded to include most of the casinos along this side of the Las Vegas Strip. The first parking garage to the left is to the Planet Hollywood. Planet Hollywood was originally the Aladdin, built in 1966 and torn down in 1998 to make way for the new Aladdin. The new Aladdin struggled financially after 9/11 and was rebranded as the Planet Hollywood. The next parking lot is for the Paris, which was completed in 1999. There hasn't been a whole lot of changes to Paris since it was built in 1999, and there isn't a whole lot to see from this angle. This photograph shows our current trajectory. We're going to cut through Ballys and continue north. Ballys opened in 1973 as the MGM Grand, built by Kurt Kerkorian. One of the largest hotels in the world at the time, it was built before the implementation of adequate fire safety measures. In 1980, this resulted in the loss of 85 lives as a fire that started in the casino deli rapidly spread throughout the casino, trapping hundreds of helpless guests in their hotel rooms as toxic smoke engulfed the building. To the left is a remnant of the old monorail system. This used to travel between Ballys and the new MGM Grand to the south. The system was later sold and expanded to become the current monorail system that we have today. The building up ahead to the left used to be the Maxim Casino, which opened in 1977. The Maxim was the site of Tupac Shakur's murder in 1996. We're now riding behind the Flamingo, which was an early resort built in 1945 by Bugsy Siegel. Flamingo is one of the few original casinos still in operation today. We are now behind what used to be O'Shea's Casino, which was sandwiched between the Imperial Palace and the Flamingo until a few years ago when it was torn down to make way for the Linq Promenade and the High Roller. The property that now holds the Linq Hotel and Casino got its start in 1959 as the Flamingo Capri. The Flamingo Capri Motel was literally built over the dry wash that laid directly north of the famous Flamingo Casino. In 1971, the motel was purchased by entrepreneur Ralph Engelstadt, who maintained the name until shortly after 1977 with the addition of the Imperial Palace Tower. By 1979, the Imperial Palace Hotel and Casino was born. The hotel consisted of one mid-rise tower as well as the low-rise motel at the rear of the property, which by the 1980s was completely encapsulated by this parking garage. We're going to explore which was once the Flamingo Wash, which still makes its appearance during heavy rain events. Here's my best estimation of the expansions made between 1978 and 1988. Within a few short years, the hotel expanded numerous times, creating today's current maze of hotel corridors, which for a short time gave the hotel the distinction of being the world's largest privately owned hotel. Today, the hotel still sits atop the original Wash. You can still see many clues to the history of this property, which continues to evolve to this day. Here's an exact representation of the Wash that flows underneath and occasionally through the main entrance to the Linq Casino.
And you can see where original kind of structure was like a bridge. The building bridged over the actual creek, so this appears to be kind of reusing a part of it. So when it rains, it floods like crazy around here. It's because this is the historical creek bed right here, and they just routed it underneath. This is one of my favorite hotels because it's got so many layers of history. They just kept building onto it, and it just makes no logical sense now, which is awesome because it gives it a lot of character.
Ralph Engelstadt would later lose his ability to operate a casino in the state of Nevada when it was discovered that he had a room filled with Nazi paraphernalia and was rumored to have birthday parties devoted to Adolf Hitler. His family would end up selling the Imperial Palace to Harris Entertainment in 2005, which mulled over whether or not to implode the casino. Due to the 2008 financial crisis, it was decided to renovate and rename the property. To me, this will always be known as the IP. Thank you very much for watching, and if you like my video, please feel free to like or subscribe, and stay tuned for future Las Vegas videos that are in the pipeline.